Hello, welcome to Tabletop CP in the game preview for September 7th, 2024. And this week we have a very special game as we will be playing our very first game of Bolt Action version 3. So I've read through the book quite a bit, took a bunch of notes, and I'm happy with the direction the game's going. I'm not going to get too much into it here in this preview, but overall, I like what they're doing with it. So this week we're going to be doing Americans versus Germans in Normandy. I did a poll on YouTube with over 500 votes last time I looked, and it was winning with 34% of the vote. So we're going to go with that, which is fitting as our very first version 2 game was also Americans versus Germans in Normandy. So let's keep the theme alive. We're going to stick with that. And as far as the mission goes, there's a new way to play missions in Bolt Action version 3 with random mission generation. And we're going to be using that for this game. So I don't know exactly what the mission's going to be right now. Essentially, you roll off. So there's 6 different missions. You can have Seek and Destroy, Key Positions, Breakthrough, Top Secret, and Demolition, and Hold Until Relieved. So you roll a d6, you pick one of those, and then you roll to see what kind of deployment zone you're going to get. So it can be played either long table edges or table quarters. And then finally you roll off for your deployment type, with meeting engagement, prepared positions, and fog of war being the 3 deployment types that you can have. So there's also another type of mission called story missions, which are a little bit more unbalanced attacker defenders type scenarios. But we'll get to that later. So we're just going to randomly generate the mission, the deployment type for this mission. And hopefully it works out with the board layout. I just made the board with no regard to what mission we're going to be. So we'll see how it goes there. But anyway, so that's that. So let's take a look at these forces that we're going to be using, which are going to be a little bit different than you may be used to seeing in Bolt Action. All right, starting out with the Americans. So if you have been following Warlord's sneak previews and all the various leaks that have come out about how the new game runs, you're probably aware of how the new platoon and force acquisition structure works. So I'm not going to go into that in this video. But starting out just by saying you do need to buy a mandatory rifle platoon to unlock all the other types of platoons that you can get. So starting off with our mandatory rifle platoon, we're going to have the platoon commander. No more first and second lieutenant, just a platoon commander. And he's going to have 2 guys with him. So the days of just one guy are gone. Small team is no longer a thing for shooting. So no reason not to bring more guys along with your platoon command squad, because more guys, they can do more stuff. So we're bringing 2 extra guys. They're going to be armed with SMGs. Then we're going to have our 2 base infantry squads and a 3rd infantry squad. All identical. Everything in this force is regular, by the way. They're going to be 10 men with 2 BARs and an SMG sergeant. And then rounding out our mandatory rifle platoon is going to be the sniper team. And snipers are quite a bit different in this version as well, which we'll see in the game. So the next platoon we're going to use that we unlocked is the heavy weapons platoon, which now has its own platoon commander. So there's going to be a lieutenant in the heavy weapons platoon. And you have to have 2 base units, either 2 MMGs or mortars or whatever, just 2 of those. So we're going to have an MMG team and a medium mortar with spotter. And we're also going to be bringing an HMG. So these things are, on paper, look amazing in the game. They're 48-inch range, 6 shots, +1. They're going to be pretty good in this game. But I believe they're about 70 points, all told. We're also going to have a bazooka team, and they are going to have a Jeep. So that's our heavy weapons platoon. And then we're going to be bringing an armored platoon. And the platoon command vehicle is going to be a 76mm Sherman. And the required extra tank to make the platoon, we're going to be bringing a 105 howitzer Sherman. So that's 13 order dice. So that's a lot of order dice. That's more than we're used to playing with. But now with the new force structure, you have to have a lieutenant. You have to have a certain amount of units to even bring that platoon to the game. So just by default, the amount of dice is probably going to start going up in games, but your lieutenants now can do 2 snap 2s, and if you bring a company commander, which every force can, they can have 4. So I guess you could snap 2 a lot of stuff at the same time, which should mitigate some of that time that you might need for all those extra dice. this is all just conjecture on my part. I don't know. We're going to find out when we play the game how well it works. So that's the American force. Now let's look at the Germans. So the Germans, meanwhile, are going to be 1,171 points, I believe, with 11 order dice. We will have a company commander with the Germans. So 4 commands, 5 with the German special rule. And he's going to have 1 guy with him. So 70 points for a company commander with 1 guy. Amazing. So we're bringing one of those with the Germans. And for the mandatory rifle platoon, we're going to have our platoon commander, a regular lieutenant with extra man. They're going to have assault rifles. And then we're going to have 2 of our base squads are going to be 8-man grenadier squads, 2 LMGs each. The price of LMGs has come down. They still get Hitler's buzzsaw, so a 2-man LMG squad of Germans should be pretty solid. 2 of those, and we're also going to try out an 8-man all assault rifle squad as well. So 3 squads. Each one's going to have a Panzerfaust. Panzerfaust has gone up to 15 points. So it tripled in cost, which is crazy, but I'm still going to bring at least 1 each per Germans. I used to bring 2, like base all the time. It was a no-brainer. So that's our mandatory rifle platoon. We're also bringing these guys a heavy weapons platoon as well. We're going to have 2 MG42s on tripods, and then we're going to have a heavy mortar with spotter, all regular. Everything in this list is regular. And then to keep it balanced just for the game, we're also going to kind of mirror the Americans. We're going to have a armor platoon. So we're going to have a Panzer IV J regular. It's a command vehicle, and it's going to have the Scherzen upgrade. And then we're going to also be bringing the Stu 42 regular with the Scherzen as well. And that will be the entire German force. So should be pretty interesting, our first game. We'll see how it goes. I'm excited to try it out. Andre is going to come over, and we're going to give it a go. So that'll be September 7th at 11:30 a.m. Pacific time will be the live stream. And if you want to see us kind of fumble through the rules and discuss the rules as we go, check out the live stream. Of course, there'll be an edited version as well. And then maybe, we'll probably do some videos on just how to play the game, talk about the rules, maybe do a live stream. So we'll have some extra content for version 3 coming up here this month. So anyway, with that being said, I hope to see you guys at the live stream.